Hi, welcome back to the next part of our tutorial to build a glass vase. Last time we did that here, and today we have to do it a little. So we go to the side view, and we see they are in different spaces. So we line them up with the blue line here. That means we take all this stuff and bring them to the blue line. So they at the same height, and then we can handle them better. Don't worry that they're not really straight, that isn't the problem. Good. We want to bake the normal, that means we need the deep of the object, and that means we must deepen them a little. So we have that one here. We take the outline and then we extrude them backwards. So we have the depth and can control them with this. Okay, the same we'll make it with all the other stuff. So this one, we take the outline, only the outline. Here you must activate this too. Here this one, and here that, and this, and this. Okay, now extrude again and bring it backward. So we have that. Then with this one, outline, and the last one there, extrude and bring it back. So extrude and back. Extrude and back. Extrude and back. So nearly done. Extrude and backwards. Oh, I've forgotten one. So back with Control Z, you can go back. That's the undo. You need it often. And extrude. So only these two things here. We bring them more back, and we can make here a scale y0, so that is a straight line. And we need here smooth, and here the same, we bring it back, scale y0, good, give them a smooth. Good, now we have the depth there, file, save. This one we don't need anymore, so we select them by border selection and press M to move, and then click on the second layer, and then you see there is a point, so they are on the second layer there. Okay, now we have to build the opposite of them, like a mirror. So we take the whole thing there, and we must first apply them all. So we apply here the mirror modifier at first, and then we apply the subsurface, and that we do with all this stuff there. Okay, so now they all applied, and that are now regular meshes, like you see here. Okay, and but we changed them in the object mode. So we must apply them all. Object, apply, rotation scale, that for all the objects. And that is important when you want to bake. You must before apply the object's rotation scale. Without that, you become arrows more and more and more. That is very important. That is every time important you work with modifiers or something else. The object must be applied after changing some. When I now change to the scale or something else, I must again apply the changing. So, nearly done. That was the last, I think. Okay, we done that. File, save. Next is to set the origin. When you see here's the origin, and we have here set origin, and we set them to the geometry. You see it changed a little, and that we do with all two. Set origin to geometry, and you see it jumps in the middle point. So to geometry. Okay, geometry here one time, and last one there. Okay, so we done that. We mark that with border selection and Shift D to make a copy of them. So when we make shit, we have another one in this status. So we move them to the second layer too. Press M and select second layer. Good. Now we want to make them to one object. So we take border selection and then we join that all together as one. So that means when we mark that and that, then we can here join, and then we take them two, we hold the shift and so on. So we join, and now we have one object, and that we want to mirror to the other side. So Shift D, make a copy of them, then with object mirror, interactive mirror, hold the middle mouse wheel and move the mouse, and you see you can change how it should be mirrored. Then left mouse button to accept that. We have now the opposite of them, but this is double, so we must delete that. So with pressing L on an object, you can select only this object. So we delete this because that's double. So X, delete words. Now we have that, and that is the opposite of them. So we have that, and we see here comes this half of this part again. So we must bring that to the both sides. To make that, we select this one here, then with L we take this part here and Shift D to duplicate, then press P to separate selection. Now it is a single mesh. When we click there, now is there a free. Here we bring it near to, and then Shift D, make a copy of that, and again we use the mirror, object mirror, interactive, hold middle mouse wheel and move the mouse. When it's right way, then press left mouse to accept. Bring it onto, and that is our ornament that we want to have. Now we must join that all together, so we mark that all and join. Now we have one object, make Shift D to have a secure copy, move it to the second layer. This one I will now apply the rotation scale and set the origin to geometry. Now all is ready. Good. To have a real distance between the front and the back of them, we need a plane. Because there is much space behind them and we don't want to render the space behind them. Okay, so add mesh plane, rotate x 90 degrees, scale up. It isn't important that it is fitting correctly. We only want to have distance control that we make with that one here. So I think that is good. So that we join together with the rest there. So that is now our object. That here we don't need anymore, so we move it to the second layer. Then file save as a new version. Glas Vase 2. Then here, to be secure, I make that again. Okay. So we need only the half of the outer parts there, but that we can do later by cutting, or we make it now. Okay, I think we make it now, then we have that done. Okay, so we take the one outline and then press Ctrl and plus on the numpad. Then you can get there one by one to get nearer and near. That is enough that we have the half, and X to delete faces, and then we have the half one. Same we make here, take the outline, Ctrl plus on the numpad, and one before the middle, and X to delete words, and then you have the half. Same we do here, mark the outline, and Ctrl plus on the numpad. Okay, so same we make on the other side, Ctrl plus, same here. Okay, last time. Good. So that we have, that is now our real thing that we want to bake. So object, apply, rotation scale, don't forget it, and the origin. Okay, that's done. Now we want to make it ready for the baking stuff, and that means we must mark seams here to get an unwrap of that. So we take the outline of each and go here under shading UVs. There we mark seam. It gets red, and that means it is settled. And that we make with all the objects. Oh, see, we have here in the background some words staying there, so we must delete them. Oh, X vertices. Okay. Here mark seam, there mark seam, and that we make with all the objects. Only the back line we mark seam. So we have that, and here the create object 2. So what we forgotten here is one down there, and here. Not that many, but must be done, so we do that. So if you don't know what we mean, or this marking from seams and so on, then look at my YouTube channel. There I have tutorials about UV. There are 3, I think, and look them all, then you will understand what UV means and what it makes and what's unwrapping. Yeah, so that is needed to understand what we do here. Then here in this tutorial I make only this short way without so much explain to why and what happens and so on. But here is, if you've seen the other tutorials, then that here is no problem for you. Other ways you must watch that before. Good. So we have marked seam all. You see it, all is red line in the background. We don't have to see it in the front, that is not needed. So again, good. We give them now a material. So we open here the section, and here we can change this window, and here we take the node editor. Then we can get this line here and bring them to the middle. Then we close that line here, that window, by pressing N. And now we come with plus, give them here a new window. Here we have it, and here we change that to the UV image editor. Good. Now we have no nodes here, and when we go here to material and give them a plus, then new. Now we can give them a name in the material. We call it ornament. And this is a standard material white diffuse. You see it then here in the nodes, diffuse material in the output. That is all we have there. Good. We go edit mode, A to select all, and U to unwrap. UV unwrap, and we click on project from view. Good. You see it here. Now we have the unwrap in the unwrap editor, the UV image editor, and it only appears there when you unwrap an object, and only then you can bake things, take textures on it, or something else that is needed, the unwrap. Good. Next thing we have to do, we need a plane where we can put the normal on that we bake. So for that we add here mesh plane, rotate X 90 degrees, and we make them as great as our ornament is. So we press set here, so we see better. That's the wireframe. We can change it here too. That's no problem. So we scale it that we here at the end and there at the end, it must be 100% correctly. It's the only way to get there and good results later. So a little bit tricky, but when you take your time for that, that will good. Okay, you see that fits, so we can go here back to material mode. You see now here is our plane before the other stuff, and we go now there and give them a mark seam completely, and U to unwrap that. So we have that UV here. We give them a material, call it material, it's okay. Then there should be later the UV on this plane. So for that we need there an image, an UV image. So that means we must make an UV to bring that normal on it. So we click here in the UV image editor new and give them name UV, and it is a picture, so UV pic. And we have here white, that's the resolution, 1024 multiplied in both directions. We need no alpha, so we can take that out. It should be in blank one, in color black. We change it later by bacon. So we go here and click OK. Now that is our UV picture, and you see here a star over the image. That means that isn't saved, and that is important. It must be saved. Without that, nothing will happen. So save as image, and we have here the name UV pic. Is a PNG in this, and we don't need PNG, we need an JPEG. And we go to quality 100, RGB should be on, and save as image in our folder there. Okay, we have done that. Now we see that fits correctly there, and now we need this picture in our material here. So that means we must add an texture, an image texture, and here we put the image into. That is the material of this plane, and that is the picture for that plane, where we can paint on, put textures on, or bake normals on it. So we open and give them the UV picture that we saved. That is now here in. The same we must do with that one here. So we go to our material ornament of this plane, and here we make the same, add texture, image texture, open, and select the UV. So when we have done that, you must be sure that it is selected. It is selected when there is a yellow yellow line around it. So is this selected? Now this is selected. In both materials of both, it must be selected. That is important. Without that, nothing happens. So then we have here on the render, there is the baking option. Here you see bake. Click on this little triangle there and that thumbs up. And we want to bake not combined. We want to bake a normal. So we click here on normal. Then we have here a little button there. Select to active. That means we must first select with right clicking the original, the source. Then hold shift and press right mouse button on the second one, the target. And now they are selected. And now we can click here selected to active. And then file save. We click here on bake. Oh, and nothing happens surely. Baking, that's a little bit too far away. So we go here near, so that we near to, but it must be complete hidden behind it. Okay, that is okay. File save. What we here see is that we don't recalculate the whole thing that we must do before. So we go in our object here and say then recalculate is by shading under tools, recalculate normals, and then they will be all look in the same direction. Good. So we try it again. First select that, second that, and then bake. So that is our bake that we need. You see in here. And now you see the little star again. We haven't saved it, and we must save them now. So image, save image. Now we have built our normal. You build your first normal. That is fine. So now we can put that all away. That has done that what it should. So move to the second layer. So we have built our normal. Now we have to build the vase, the vase itself. So add mesh circle 32 is okay. Scale down. Edit mode. Extrude. Bring it a little up. Extrude again to the middle of this round stuff there on the top. So scale. Then we make here middle loop, Control R. Scale them up. And now with Control B, select them all to this size by moving the mouse and roll the middle mouse button. Then you can make it rounder. Then select the top again, extrude and bring them up to, scale down. In the middle, take a loop, Control R, scale up, Control B, move the mouse, roll the middle mouse button. Okay. Then extrude again to the middle of the roundness there. And then Control R to make a loop in, and this time we make it smaller, so increase the scale, and then Control B, so you can make it into. Good. Then the same stuff, extrude to the top, scale up, Control R to make a loop, scale into, Control B to bevel, roll middle mouse button to set loops. Okay. Then one time extrude scale. So we have that. Then extrude again to the top. Control R to make a loop in the middle. Scale them up. Control B to bevel that. And we have our vase done. Die Vase ist fertig. We click smooth. So we have that good looking stuff there. So we can move that here away. We don't need it anymore. Move. Second layer was only for the shape. Good. This vase isn't thick. That is a thin thing. So we give them there a solidifier. And now we can say here by thickness how thick that should be. Good. So this is okay. Then we take Shift D, make a copy of them, move that to second layer. Then we have that here, and you see it is not really round there. So we can take their subdivision surface on it, and it rounds up. Wonderful. So we bring them in front and apply the surf modifier, and then we apply the thickness, and now we have 3D mesh. Wonderful. Here we should close that, so we give here an F to close, and here left close. So we have that. File, save as a new version. That is number 3. Save. Okay. We want to have here class material on it. First is we have changed the object, so we apply. Then we set the origin to the geometry. Now we must give them a material. It should be Glas Vase. So we need that. You see it here in the node editor, there is no material, no nodes. So we go here to materials, say new, and name it Glas. So to get the Glas material, you can click here on diffuse, and there is a Glas shader. So we say the material should be Glas. Don't worry, you don't see it here, you only see it when you render. So, but it is there, believe me that. You can see on the preview, there is this Glas material. Good. Now we have to make here a second one that we call Glas 2 and give them a Glas material 2. So the first Glas material, there we need some changes, because Glas throws a shadow in itself, and reflections are too heavy on that. So for that we need a light path. So we go add input light path that we put there. Then we take their mix shader mix. We want to mix the Glas with a transparent shader. So we get here transparent and bring them onto the mixer. So what we want to make transparent, that is now 50-50. When we go to here, we have only Glas. When we go to the right side, we have only transparent and you see nothing. So that must be controlled by the light path. And the light path, the shadow should not thrown to it, and the reflection. So we need both to get in there. So we take here a math node and take here the shadow ray in and the reflection ray, and that both we bring into the factor. Now the reflections and the shit is gone. We go here to multiply, and then we have that. Good. File, save. To get here a good light, we go here in the outliner, it's called. We have our lamp here. We want to have a sun there and use nodes. For Glas, it's important that they have bounces. 1024. The bounces are when the light comes to Glas, it bounces on this side, bounces to the other side, and so on. And because of that, you need that by Glas materials. We take a range of 5 in a moment, white. Then we have here the world settings. The world is gray in a moment, so we use nodes here. We want to take a background. Then here on the point we can say we want to have an environment texture as the background. We can say here open, and I have it on my folders that are HDRI files that are called environment textures, and they are for free. You can download them, Google, that is no problem. We take this one here. You can take each one, that's not the point. Good, that is on 1. File, save. When we now go here and render, you see that is our Glas there. And now we want to have our normal placed on it. So